To those who say I'm a bit obsessed or a little bit too much in love with HK and say I'm betraying other guns' love because I love HK too much, well, all I have to say is this. No, I'm not defending German technical superiority, I'm stating the fucking obvious! I'm making no secret that I absolutely love German guns, especially the holy grail of firearms, H&K. Even Gun Jesus himself loves it, as seen here on the poster, of course. But today's weapon, of course, is provided to us by Manstore HQ, well, Manstore Incorporated, or at least ManstoreHQ.com. Links in the comments section down below, and if you use my coupon code AirsoftAL, you will get 7% off your entire purchase. Not just the gun itself, but also the things that go into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's gun is one that I love. One that I, as a gamer, love to death. And no, I'm not talking about Call of Duty. I ain't talking about Battlefield. I'm talking about the early days of gaming. From the 90s. The thing that spun off from Half-Life. I'm talking about the gun that when you look at it, you immediately think of the game I'm talking about. The gun that is actually, well, I believe on the earlier posters and earlier promotional material of this certain game, the gun I'm talking about, of course, is the H&K USP. Oh yeah, this gun. The gun that I absolutely love from my days at CounterStrike. And I ain't talking about CounterStrike Source, I ain't talking about CounterStrike Global Offensive, I'm talking 1.6, ladies and gentlemen. The good old days of CounterStrike. Before all this bullshittery that came about with microtransactions and loot boxes and all that shit. But, ladies and gentlemen, this particular model is a non-blowback. CO2. I am disappointed as you are, folks. We don't have a CO2 HK USP yet. One day. One day. But, ladies and gentlemen, the HK USP is a long history, and if you want me to go into it, I sure as shit ain't, because Forgotten Weapons did a video on it. Go watch that. What I'm going to talk about is the gun itself. And the non-blowback variant is actually accurate to the 1-to-1 scale of a real USP. And you can bet I actually want to get one surplus because I sure as hell ain't paying the price tag of an actual brand new USP. Have you seen what those things ask for? Have you seen the price tag of those things? I don't have the money for that. I'd rather go surplus. Because if I see an HK USP on the surplus market, and if I have the money for it, and its asking price is reasonable, sub 400, I'm gonna get that. I really am. But, what about this HK USP non-blowback? Wants you to get the money. Well, before we get into that, let's just talk about the beauty of this pinnacle of German technology. And yes, it is from ORX USA, who actually does have the license for H&K. Well, before we begin into it, yes, it's a non-blowback, but it's not like any other non-blowbacks. What I mean by that is that the trigger pull is actually good, the safety is actually functional, and it does actually lock the trigger, So you don't have that little pesky, yeah, what comes to non-blowbacks. What I mean by that is, well, we'll get into that in a little bit, but what does this gun have? It has the HK USP on the slide. It doesn't have a functioning slide lock, but there's a little something about the slide I think you'll be interested in, and actually makes this gun just that much more better. It really does. And even the price tag, which we'll get into later. But the magazine is, of course, proprietary to it. It is a HK USP Non Blowback mag, where all the action is in the magazine itself, meaning the gas valve release, the striker, everything about it is in the magazine. The follower, that actually is not that bad. It's not horrible to pull down. It's not terrible. It's actually really good. And it's a Gen 2 version, meaning it's a V2 magazine, which I actually like. The gun itself is a little bit weighty, but does work very well. The safety, of course, does function, and it gives you that nice hammer action. The trigger pull ain't that bad. And the good thing about the HK USP is that it's designed specifically for it, and the cool thing about it is that if you pay attention to a certain nostalgia critic, you'll know that his current firearm of choice, whenever he has one, is in fact a USP. And even in his brand new, intro that he has, you can actually see the USP in it, even all the way down to that nice little metal serial number. And yes, this does have a metal serial number on it. It has this nice little serration here for, of course, to have much better control on the thing itself. If you have small hands like me and you have to hold the thing down. The trigger guard is nice and wide, so if you have gloves on, it's, well, you can fit the gloves in there. It has nice little grooves in there, so that way you can actually comfortably rest your trigger finger on it. The magazine release is, of course, ambidextrous, meaning that if you want to, if you have your thumb or even trigger finger, or if you're left-handed, which I'm not used to using a left hand, so my left hand isn't exactly conformed to actually doing that, but it is on there, unlike my right hand, which, ironically enough, apparently my right hand's actually bigger than my left hand, or, no, it's just not used to it, actually. Okay, so my left hand's just not used to holding left-handed guns. Yeah, it really isn't. It's weird shooting offhand with this, but either way, though, it's still nice. It really is. I just, doing that, it just, it's just feels so good. It really does. And the safety, once again, is right there within reach, so you can actually, I just love the safety on the USP. I really do. The HK pistols, safeties, even the magazine releases, they're all within reach of your thumb. Even if you're left-handed and you're shooting the gun, you can actuate it with your, well, trigger finger. Like I said, this thing's CO2. It's definitely nice, but the cool thing about this is the barrel. The barrel is not attached to the gun. But before we get into that nice little feature, let me talk about the trigger. The trigger pull-on is not that bad. What I mean by that is that, watch. So, pulling the trigger, we go back, 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 back. There's the brake. Back, 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 back. There's the brake. The brake is actually about right there, when in reality be way in the damn back. What I mean by that is, well, let me grab another non-blowback and I'll show you what I mean, or at least 3 other non-blowbacks will show you what I mean. Another Umarex gun, which is actually based off of a Defender. It is called the Enforcer, but it's actually based off of a Smith & Wesson, or at least, again, it's based off of another striker pistol. I can't remember what exactly the name of it is, but, you know, one of those things. Either way, though. So, unlike that one, this one, the safety is on the frame itself. And not exactly my favorite. But, let's go ahead and get on that trigger. We're going back, 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 right there. Back, 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 right there. Back, 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 right there. It is literally right there at the very back, unlike the HK USP, which is halfway. I like that. I love that. However, even when you put the safety on, you still can actuate the action, which actually loads the BBs into it, or at least something of that nature. Although it might be another gun I'm thinking of. Maybe. I'm not sure. But this one, the barrel doesn't move all that much, but then again, I'm looking up in there. I might not be seeing it. It might not be this one, but I do know that whenever you pull the trigger, it does still load in BBs, which is kind of annoying if you think about it. It really is. It might not be this one. It might be another gun I'm thinking of. But moving on to another Umarex gun, we have the Ruger P345, which was modeled after, of course, the actual real steel Ruger P345. Again, might not be this one, but I do feel something actuating in there, meaning that this might be the one where it actually does load in the BBs. But either way, though, putting it on fire, let's check that trigger pull. Trigger pull, I mean. Back, 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 break. Back, 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 break. Back, 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 break. Almost back near the wall. almost literally back to the back of the trigger guard. Now let's go to an ASG non-blowback and see what that does. I am certain this is the one, I think. No, the barrel does not move. I'm not hearing anything in there. But once again, safety on the frame. So, let's do this once again. So, even though this trigger actually does do that, so let's get back to a more comfortable position. So, back, break. Back, break. Break. If you see the gun shaking, that's because the trigger pull in this and the other two have been relatively heavy. Not on the HK USP, though. But we'll get back to that. So let's get back to the HK USP and actually talk about the trigger once again, because, again, I'm in love with the trigger of that thing. The trigger pull in this is actually good. And the cool part is that, unlike the others, the trigger does not move, because the trigger is actually connected to the assembly itself. And the safety does disconnect the ability for the trigger to move. And like I said, it is not bad. Like, it really isn't. Now, let's do something actually kind of cool. Let's take the slide off. That's right, you can actually take the slide off, and I'm going to show you how. So let's get into that, shall we? Now for this, you're going to need some needle-nose pliers to actually grab onto that, which I already have done. And you can see the barrel itself is not connected to anything. There's reason for that. Because once you pull this off, you can actually fully disconnect the gun. You can fully disconnect the slide off of it, which is kind of nice. And the cool part is, you can actually see how the action works. All this is connected to it. This is actually really nice. You can come in here now and do whatever evil you want to. And the cool part is you can see how the gun works, which is great for, well, that's actually pretty nice. And if I wanted to, I could run this in a game without it, but I'm not going to. But you can actually see how this connects with the nozzle itself, how this works. And you can come in here and just do all sorts of stuff to it. Again, I'm already in love with this gun. I really am. So, putting this back on. Again, you're gonna... There we go. Pull that back. Okay, push it forward so that way it lines up there. Push the barrel in, and boom. Things back together. Let's go ahead and load up the magazine with BBs, and let's just see what this thing does, not only on the chrono, but also in a test outside to see what the range is on this. Oh yeah, and before I forget, it has that iconic HK cut right there for HK-specific attachments, just for that cut in the groove. Now, you can get rail attachments for this. I actually put on here for extra rails and stuff, but I don't know, I might leave it the way it is and might actually just run it as is, because that's just a classic look right there. It really is. But, moving on, let's go over here and chrono the gun, shall we? For those of you who have never loaded a non-blowback before, no worries, I'm here for you. So what you do is you get the Allen wrench, which is currently right here inside it. You pull this off, you shove this in, then you just screw that down. Real nice. Now, I will teach you how to actually stop a leaky magazine in the future, but that's just one of those things. Either way, though, so we just screw this down, and there we go. There was that nice pop from the CO2 going into it. Not hearing any leaks. Put the magazine in. Oh yeah, this holds 16 rounds. I wouldn't recommend you to try and load it all the way because it will cause a magazine jam. So, loading it into the gun, we are using Black Ops .2s for our test. I will use heavier BBs if you want me to. Putting on our safety glasses because safety is our #1 priority here at AAA Airsoft Media Co.
Bullshit! Bullshit!
And we have our e-bike brand Chronograph. Safety is off, gun is hot. And if this is a blowback, this would just knock this out of my hand, but this is a non-blowback, so I'm able to do this. Firing the first round. Our first spout of CO2. 9 FPS.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
Meaning we have an error. 11 FPS, another error. 9 FPS. There we go, 397. So apparently these first couple spouts of CO2 was so high that it did not register. But this is definitely shooting a little hotter than CQB standard. But then again, we'll try that again. 325. 320. 319. 315. Okay, it's steadily going down. Make sure there's no leak in this. I'm not hearing a leak in the BBs, or in the magazine itself. But hey, this is the first spout of CO2, so one of those things. 312. 311. 308. 306. 307. 302. 298. 304. En route. So yeah, that's definitely something. So apparently it's saying it'll get 136 feet, but we'll definitely test that, won't we? But anyway though, so the magazine itself, once again, I'm not hearing any leaks, so it's definitely not the magazine, but this thing was shooting out a lot of CO2, so it's definitely interesting to say the least. But let's go ahead and get outside and see what distances we're getting with this, shall we? Here we are again, back at the Can't Hit the Broadside of a Barn challenge. Been a long time since I've done this, ladies and gentlemen, but with the HK USP, let's see if it can hit the broadside of a barn. And yes, it can somewhat fit inside an M12 holster, which is very nice, but loading it up, let's see if it will hit the broadside of a barn at 50 feet. So, guns loaded, let's see if it will hit the broadside of a barn at 50 feet. It can hit the broadside of a barn at 50 feet. Let's go back to 60 feet, shall we? Here we are at 60 feet. Will it hit the broadside of a barn? One-handing this. Yes! Although it did curve because of the wind, so moving back to 70 feet. Here we are at 70 feet. Will it hit? Almost. Let me try that again. It hit a branch. And I'm having to compensate for the wind. Yep. 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 Yes, but you have to aim really high to compensate for it. But, okay, we got a good amount of BBs actually still left. So we're going to go up to the... I just shot at all the BBs. That's one of the issues with these magazines. I'm now empty. I feel like a jackass. Let me get all the BBs up and then we'll try that again, okay? We're at the highest point. I only have 4 rounds that I could find, and I'm kind of curious. We'll hit the broadside of a barn at 100 feet. Up pretty high at about 5-10 feet up. Gravity at play. I'm a little curious, so let's see if it will do it. So let me adjust you guys a little bit. See that way, so let's see if it will hit the barn, shall we? Car! Last round. About high up as I am, 90 feet max is what it's getting, because it's dropping, like, at least from what I could speculate, at least, it either went over the barn or under the barn, but either way, though, it was landing near the barn, but 90 feet max is what you're getting at this height level, as well as this distance. So, in terms of the actual distance of this thing, it's got the distance, and I know you guys probably want a grouping test, so maybe I'll do a grouping test. Actually, yeah, no, sure, let's do a grouping test, shall we? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that this is not specifically a target. This is just to show the grouping of the BBs. So, I'm going to be set up over there at about a CQB engagement distance, and we're going to see exactly the groupings we get out of the HK USP. So I'm going to load up 0.2 BB with 0.2 BBs, because I know a lot of you who are my viewers are probably only able to afford 0.2 BBs, and we're going to see exactly the groupings we get out of 0.2 BBs. So, let's go ahead and do that, and see what we get, shall we? not too bad. The grouping itself is roughly about a palm-sized grouping, and that's what me doing my steadiest holding of the handgun itself. And that's all 16 rounds right there, so that's not bad. And this is roughly a torso-sized target, so that's not bad. It really isn't. Let's get back over here and give our final thoughts and verdict, shall we? Even after 3 magazines worth, yes, 3 full magazines worth, essentially, the CO2 is still there, meaning that this gun is still able to go. And it's actually really good. It's not that bad. It's durable. It actually does work out pretty well, and the only issues I could find with it would be, of course, from the magazine design itself. But then again, this is the V2 version, not the V1, and from my understanding, the V1s weren't really that reliable, give or take. But they did make some minor improvements to the V2 magazines, so that is actually really nice. But the cool thing about this gun is that this particular one is refurbished, meaning that it actually does perform better than the originals, which is actually really nice. And the price tag of it is not really that bad either. The price tag being $35. However, they do have 2 other ones, which is a clear version, which is on sale for about $35 also, and even a brand new one, which is about $39. They're both on sale right now, and both are actually reasonably priced. But the refurbished model is one I would highly recommend you get. Or what am I saying? Highly recommend. I tell you to get it, because they're still in stock on the main manstore.com, on the main Manstore website, and will be linked down below, as well as the Manstore Facebook and even eBay page. And I'm not gonna lie, this is really good. And if you use my coupon code AirsoftAL, you will save 7% off your entire purchase. But what about the handgun itself? Well, besides my blind nostalgia, it is actually really good. I don't see any problem with it. It actually is better than all other non-blowbacks. It actually has the real functioning safety that you would find on an actual HK. The magazine itself is actually really good, if not the one issue where if you release the follow all the BB shootout, like, yeah, but, again, it's not that bad. And I would definitely recommend anyone to, well, what am I saying recommend? I'm definitely telling you guys to get this, because this is the only CO2 HK we have that is a USP. I wish they came out with an HK blowback that was CO2, but only time will tell. And I will say this now, if you're a big fan of CounterStrike, or just HK in general, this is definitely a buy I want you to get. But what about the final verdict? Are there any drawbacks to this thing that I can think of? No, not really. And with the price tag being where it is, which includes free shipping, including using my coupon code, will save you 7% off that purchase. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's been a long time since one of these guns actually got my highest rating. But with the way it's set up, and the fact that you can actually take out the barrel here and actually pull this up to fix any sort of problem in there, or even do anything of that nature, this right here, this HK USP gets my highest rating. It gets no more, no less than a 10 out of 10. A legendary rating. At $35 for the refurbished model, if not even cheaper, with the coupon code, like I said, AirsoftAL, save you 7% off your entire purchase. This gun is worth it. And I probably am going to rock this thing. What am I saying? I am going to rock this thing once the quarantine's up and over with, and I'm able to go out and actually have some fun. It's just a fun thing to do. And if you need more incentive to get this gun, you know that Umarex TAC carbine kit I reviewed a long time ago? Well, oh yeah, this fits into it. This kit is specifically designed to put this in there, so you can actually have a HK USP carbine. That's just, oh, that's perfect. I love it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. As always, I've been AirsoftAL, and a huge thank you once again to Manstore.com, or ManstoreHQ.com, or Manstore Incorporated, for sending me this gun. And I can't say it enough, go support these guys. Go check this guy out. Go check out his Facebook. Go check out his website. Go check out his eBay page. He does amazing work refurbishing guns, and I don't praise people that often. I don't praise stores that often. And when a store has impressed me enough to praise them and want to work with them and help them out, you know they done good. They haven't goofed. They've done good. So yeah. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, the common man's airsofter. Talks about HK guns Because by God, they're perfection. They really are. And next time, ladies and gentlemen, another Man Store sent in gun. Yes, Man Store sent me 2 guns, not just 1. My God, what were they thinking? It's a Walther! It is a 1911. Springer. Affordable. Interesting. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, folks, if you want to help support the channel, then please consider going down there to the links to manstore.com and actually using the coupon code AirsoftAL. It will save 7% off your entire purchase, and it helps support the channel as well as Manstore. And it will give Manstore incentive to send me more stuff. I'm not shilling because I'm contractually obligated to. No, I'm shilling because I personally love Manstore and I happily support them. And it's you guys who actually do so too. But if you want to help support the channel directly, then please consider going down below the Manstore links and clicking on the link down there to our PayPal and consider donating. It's folks like you that actually help out the channel and actually help sponsor these reviews. And, yeah. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you next time. Later!